Welcome to The New Next, a podcast that addresses current events and how they will impact the future. Co-hosted by the inquisitive public speaking champion, Mike McVeigh, and energy, economics, and technology expert, Matt Jensen. Join us as we explore all things energy, economic, tech, and political, and how they will affect our future.
So we've seen lately in the Ukraine war some of, I would say, kind of terrifying military tactics of the future. So I really think that our generation, being the millennials, and I'm not including this in this group because I don't play a lot of video games, but our generation has been kind of the first generation that plays tons of first-person shooter games. Really kind of like these war reenactment games. And I really do feel that our generation is going to be the generation that ushers in digital warfare in a really meaningful way, more than it ever has before. So it's been a little bit weird for me seeing how this Russian-Ukraine war has been so traditional and it's kind of like land invasion, duking it out. But with that too, you see a lot of these like signs of the future, using cheap drones, specifically rigging basically consumer drones, almost like a guerrilla warfare style, with explosives, grenades, and stuff like that. But Russia deployed about, I think, 2 weeks ago on this recording, their kamikaze drones that were made from Iran in Ukraine. And I think these were, this was the attack where they really went after Kyiv and some of the areas that hadn't really been touched recently, after being demolished earlier in the war. I think part of, the strategy there is telling them, we still can get you, but still it's inflicting horrible horror on ordinary citizens. But these kamikaze drones are basically, you fly them in. Oftentimes they're rigged with the stuff that, suicide bombs would usually have, like shrapnel and stuff like that. And they're there to inflict maximum pain. That and kamikaze or drone clusters, so it's kind of an interesting turn of events, is after these kamikaze drone strikes on Kyiv and other areas, Ukraine, used a drone swarm where they basically swarm a lot of, you can either do underwater or, air drones, where you send so many at a time that it's really hard for defensive systems to actually handle it. So let's see, what's that company? The company Palmer Luckey, the Oculus guy, Anduril. Yeah, he started. I think they have some technology kind of dealing with these drone swarms, but it's very difficult. If you have one drone versus hundreds of smaller drones, it's basically difficult to take them out. So part of Russia's Black Sea Fleet was taken out by drone swarms recently, and they in turn canceled their grain passage deal through the ports that Russia now controls. So it's just been this Ukraine war has been wild, right? Because I feel like it's showing mimics of the past of how war was fought and glimpses of the future. So like glimpses of the past, glimpses of the future, where it's it's brutal. It's on the ground mostly, and then you see a lot of the incorporation of kind of like these new technologies in a really guerrilla aspect. But it's check it out. It's kind of terrifying. But I think the fact that once these become more prevalent, then it kind of limits a lot of the ground tactics that you can really deploy without meaningful defense systems, and it really does push the war in areas where it is more digital, remote, and having people carry out wars from their their laptops. So very interesting.
If you would like to learn more about the New Next podcast, find us at thenewnextpodcast.com, where you can suggest a topic you would like for us to cover. If you enjoyed what you heard, share the podcast, tell a friend about it, or rate us with 5 stars.